It's been quite a while since I could say that I was this excited for not just one but multiple samurai games that are all coming out within a reasonable amount of time of each other. Long gone are the days where our PlayStations, Xboxes, and GameCubes were littered with katana-wielding ninjas and samurai. The Sengoku period has proved to be an excellent setting for enjoyable video games, with games like the original Tenchu and its sequels, the Onimusha games, Bushido Blade, and the oh-so creatively named Ninja, all serving up a heaping helping of exciting combat, theatrical stealth kills, and captivating stories of honor and conflict. These types of games really resonated with a large sector of the gaming audience, including myself, and most of the people who played these games either as kids or as adults are still playing and still on the lookout for more of those types of experiences. Sure, there's always been a ninja game here and a samurai game there, but honestly, a lot of them from the last 10 years or so just didn't live up to the standard that were set by Tenchu and Onimusha. Even though this particular setting has never completely gone away, it's hard to think of a time since the late 90s where these types of games were catching on as much as they seem to be right now, and I, for one, couldn't be more hyped that major game developers like Sucker Punch and From Software have decided to tap into this for some new games. Team Ninja has served as our diligent standard bearer for some time with the modern Ninja Gaiden games, and those were great, but it was nice to see them mix it up a little bit with some of the lessons from the folks over at From Software with their standout PS4 exclusive Nioh, which tinkered with some solid technical Souls-like gameplay and mixed it in with a Sengoku period-based story set in the 1600s, and a dash of humor here and there, which really set it apart from most games in the genre. Reception of Nioh was largely strong with great sales, largely excellent review scores, and a solid fan base that still to this day continues to grow, helping hold the value of Nioh's price tag relatively high compared to most other games that came out in early 2017. Unsurprisingly, Team Ninja revealed recently that they have been and currently are hard at work on a Nioh sequel, which makes sense, but still caught many off guard as the original has only been out for about a year and a half. And I'm sure as long as they stick to what made the first one great and maybe mix up the level variation a little bit more, Nioh 2 shouldn't be anything less than an awesome sequel to the first, and another excellent addition to this modern wave of great samurai games. Now, it does seem that, much like the success of the Souls series inspiring major parts of what Nioh turned out to be, the success of Nioh may have spurred some other studios to build off of Nioh's own success. Even From Software themselves seem to be jumping on the train with their wild-looking samurai game, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Sekiro seems to be quite an evolution to what we expect from Dark Souls, with faster fights, much more verticality, and perhaps more of an open-ended experience. This should excite basically everyone, as it looks to serve as a great variation and a new flavor of the Souls format for those who loved the Souls games, while giving those who did not a new reason to maybe try a From Software game again, which is exactly what From Software needs to be doing, as their hardcore fans trust them more than enough at this point to try something new, and people who couldn't get into the Souls games are probably still largely keeping an eye on them as a developer and waiting for something different to try. However, if those who didn't like the difficulty of the Souls games are waiting around for something friendlier, they will probably be disappointed, as From Software has openly stated that the game will focus on strategy and skill and could very well end up being even more difficult than the Souls games for some players. That's great news for those looking for a challenge though. Lastly, and perhaps what has me the most excited personally, is Sucker Punch's new outing, Ghost of Tsushima. The footage we got to see at this year's E3 revealed the game to be a hyper-realistic samurai game set in the early Sengoku period during the Mongol invasion of feudal Japan in 1274, which was a very real event and an important one, as it was one of the first invasion attempts of the Mongols to fall short of its expectations and set some of the first boundaries for the Mongol expansion. The footage also showed us that Sucker Punch appears to be doing a great job of telling this story in a very grounded way. I didn't see many major effects or magical enhancements to what was going on, no giant monsters or over-the-top demons or anything like that. No, Ghost of Tsushima seems to be a samurai game that wants to nail the tone and feel of this location and this time, and that is something that's definitely worth being excited for. It seems like Sucker Punch is really trying to release their best work here, which is part of an interesting pattern that I'm noticing with some of Sony's first-party studios. As Guerrilla Games finally broke free from the long-running Killzone franchise with Horizon, they ended up with their best game to date, just like Naughty Dog breaking out of the Uncharted series in 2013 with The Last of Us, and now we see Sucker Punch experiencing a similar evolution here, as the Infamous games are being left behind, at least for now, for this talented studio to stretch their legs creatively and see where their passion and talent leads them. The fact that we have multiple samurai games on the way from these excellent developers is in and of itself exciting, and we should all be excited, but perhaps what gets me the most hyped about it is the variety of them. They're all taking place in roughly the same era, yet their visions of that era and the paths that they've chosen to tell their stories could not be more different. Sekiro, Ghost of Tsushima, and Nioh 2 might draw some inspiration from each other in some ways, but they are by no means just carbon copies of each other, and they don't seem to be suffering from the repetitive issues that many other genres, like first-person shooters, find themselves struggling with right now. I don't see any reason why a fan of these types of games shouldn't pick up all three. Granted, they have the time to get through them all, as they will all probably be rather long. Whether you want outrageous action, mystical fantasy, or ultra realism, there should be something within these choices for just about everybody, and I couldn't trust and be more excited for these developers to bring their visions to our living rooms any more than I do now.
And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.